This video is sponsored by Alcid eHomes, whose mission it is to accelerate the advent of sustainable, healthy living systems around the world. Hi, and welcome to Best in Tesla. So, the Model Y is already out and is really getting momentum in the US and China. And people are loving the car, because it's a very fun car to drive. It has all the great technology of Teslas and a big trunk and very spacious inside. It charges fast and it handles great. But this car from Tesla is about to be overtaken by itself. Because in only 3 months from now, Tesla will start getting Model Ys coming out of the Giga factory. And this Model Y is going to outperform the Model Y from the US and China on every single count. Because it is not made as the others are. This is all new technology, and this might have a bigger impact than you might think. This car has the potential to be one of the best mass-produced cars in the world. Let me explain why, and let's dive right in. The Model Y from the Giga is going to be so good that Tesla sales in Europe will explode, in my opinion. I think Tesla will keep the cards very close to the body on this one, because this car is probably gonna have some kind of Osborne effect, because this car is going to be so much better than all the other Tesla Model Ys and Model 3s, because it's going to have not only the rear casting machine, but both the rear and the front and the middle. And this is going to be the first battery to structure car as well, so it will also be a much lighter car than the other Tesla Model Ys out there. Maybe about 200 kilos or so, from the casting pieces and not having to weld together over 200 pieces and getting rid of all the different components in the battery modules they use today, and just putting the battery straight into the bottom of the car. And that battery is also more efficient and more energy dense. That is also going to save weight. So the center of gravity of this car is going to be one of the best of any car in the world. And because of the whole underbody being built of only 3 pieces instead of 240 pieces, will make it much stiffer as well as light. So it will handle like nothing else we have seen before, and can perform better than other Model Ys because the new batteries have more power output as well. So the performance of the German Model Y will be amazing. And the paint job, according to Sandy Monroe, is already perfect on the new models coming out of the assembly line today. Tesla doesn't have this problem anymore, and the build quality inside the car is perfect. They don't have that problem anymore, and Sandy Monroe saw a refreshed Model 3 that he met on his road trip. It was also a great build quality on the outside as well, with even panel gaps and so on, and he even talked to Elon Musk about it, why some Model 3s were getting so close to perfect, or at least as good as anything else out of Europe, as Sandy put it, and then it was still possible to find Model 3s with uneven panel gaps. And Elon did explain that the problem occurs when they are ramping up. And so far Tesla is always ramping up. But if you want to make sure to have even panel gaps, get one of the very early ones before the ramp up, or wait until they are at full capacity, and then you can get a car as good as anything out of Europe. But with the Model Y coming out of Europe, out of Germany, this will get even better. Because the paint shop Tesla will get is going to be one of the most advanced paint shop in the world. And their paint job is already perfect, so it will just go to amazing. And this single piece casting will make sure that every single piece they make will be 100% identical with the last one. It will be like making Lego blocks, and this will make the build quality go up significantly. So we will maybe get one of the best build quality of any mass-produced cars ever. Of course, not compared to maybe a hand-built car, but maybe the best build quality of any mass-produced car. So we will get a Model Y that is much lighter, handles better, better build quality, better paint job, more efficient, more power. This car is going to be one of the best cars on the planet. EVs are already superior to the ICE cars today, but now the superior EVs are going to take an insane leap forward on pretty much every single count. And the Model Y is already one of the best cars on the planet, if you ask me. But yes, I am a Tesla fanboy, but even car reviewers like Dan Neal, who writes about cars for the Wall Street Journal, have evolved from a Tesla skeptic that did not believe in Tesla, that they would even survive all the way back in 2009, to become a believer in the company. In his new review of the Model Y, he reached new highs of colorful commendation and just managed to restrain himself from losing control and proclaiming Tesla's new offering as the best car in the world. So just imagine how a car reviewer like Dan Neal will react when he gets to drive a Tesla Model Y coming out of the Berlin factory. I will bet you Dan will call that one the best car in the world. But it is very exciting to see how much Tesla will actually tell us about the car's technology and specs and what the price will be and so on. Because just the simple fact that the car is going to be about 200 kilos lighter than the existing Model Y will no doubt boost the range of the car and the performance of the car. So what will Tesla actually do here? Put in the same amount of kilowatt hours of batteries, or will Tesla put in less batteries to keep the range about the same as the old ones? But that will definitely also make the car charge faster, because the new battery will already be able to suck in more energy than the old ones and don't get so hot when charging, so can actually hold a much higher charging rate through the entire charging. And if they at the same time put in less kilowatt hours, they will also be able to charge the battery much faster, because there's just not as many kilowatt hours to charge. Because remember, this Model Y with the new 4680 cells will have 54% more range than the old 2170 cells. So if they put in the same amount of kilowatt, the new Model Y will have about 777 kilometers of VLTP range, or about 486 miles. If I understand it correctly, the Model Y that is being produced today should have about an 80 kilowatt hour battery inside. So the 505 kilometers of range it gets VLTP with the 80 kilowatt hour battery is about 6.3 kilometers per kilowatt hour. If we then boost that with a 54% range, then we end up at 9.5 kilometers per kilowatt hour. That means that with only 55 kilowatt hour battery in the Model Y coming out of the Giga Berlin, it will have about 533 kilometers of range VLTP. So a bit more range than the old one, but with about 25 kilowatt hours less batteries. And all this without taking into account the 200 kilo lighter car. So the range will be even better. So let's just say it will be about 10 kilometers per kilowatt hour to keep this simple. So now we have a car with only 55 kilowatt hour that can charge with 250 kilowatt for a very long time, since the new battery does not have the heat problem as the old ones. So it will be able to keep this charge for the most of the charging. But now we're talking about really fast charging, even though the speed of the charge itself has not changed, because it's charging with 250 kilowatt per hour, but we only have 55 kilowatt hours of batteries in the car. So 250 kilowatt divided by 60 minutes is 4.16 kilowatt hours per minute. So in theory, it could go from 0 to 100% in about 13 minutes. But it will of course slow down at the end, but you don't really have to charge the last 20 or 10%, and you don't go to 0% either. So from 10% to 80%, That would be about 38.5 kilowatt hours of batteries we need to charge, or about 70% of the battery capacity, but that would only take a little over 9 minutes. So in 10 minutes it would get about 385 kilometers of range and go from 10 to 80% of charge. So this will also make the Model Y made in Germany much better when it comes to charging than all the rest. If Tesla decides to do this, of course. But Tesla will also save about 25 kilowatt hours per car, maybe worth about $2,500 per car. So the car will also become much cheaper for Tesla to build this way as well. But if we look at the German website, Tesla is just showing the same performance specs as the US and China one. So will that mean that they will give the Berlin-made Model Y the same specs as the US and Chinese one by making the battery pack smaller, as we have just talked about? Well, I think they will, because Tesla is battery constrained, so if they can save 25 kilowatt hours per car, then instead of making 2 cars, they can suddenly make 3 cars with the same amount of kilowatt hours. Now that will also be a real game changer when it comes to Tesla scaling up production. And the win for Tesla are huge. We know the Model Y in China and the US is already cheaper to produce than the Model 3, but is more expensive to buy, meaning bigger margins for Tesla. And the made in German Model Y has the potential to be even cheaper to produce, even though the salary is higher in Germany than it is in China. So Tesla could earn really good money on the Model Y in Europe. So no matter what they do, the Tesla Model Y has the potential to be a much better car than the Model Y made in China and the US. And I think this car will sell as easy as candy for kids. Because I do think that car reviewers that are not even pro Tesla will have a hard time not liking the made in Germany Model Y. What will they criticize now with a perfectly built car that is better in every way? And car reviewers like Dan Neal, who are not afraid of being pro Tesla, will probably call this one the best car in the world. But what do you think? Am I just, as always, overly excited about Model Ys coming out of Germany, or is this going to be something really special? And is there something wrong with my math about the kilowatt hours and charging speed? Please let me know. I would love to learn if there is something I'm missing. I know there is a lot of smart people out there watching my videos. So please do leave a comment below. And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.